Genre, drama. A window into history. The mystery of the cellar window by David Adler. Illustrated by Patricia Costaleo. Essential question. What can you discover when you give things a second look? Read about how a second look at an old house leads to a discovery. The players. Jean, Grandma J. Andrews, owner of the house. Celia Andrews, Jean Andrews' daughter. Jacob and Caleb, Jean Andrews' grandchildren. Daniel Cruz, a TV news reporter. Jennifer, the camera woman. Nell, the director. Vera and Miguel, Jacob's and Caleb's friends. Patricia Cole, president of the city council. Dr. Cedric Brown, a local historian. Act 1, Scene 1. Setting, the living room of an old house. Grandma J is showing a letter to her daughter Celia. Jacob and Caleb enter and head toward Grandma J and their mother. Jacob is wearing a mitt and is carrying a baseball. Celia Andrews. How can they do this? Caleb. Who? Jacob. Do what? What's the matter, Grandma J? Grandma J. The city council has just sent me a letter. They want to tear down this house. Caleb. How can they do that? Celia Andrews reads from the letter. It says here, the city council has evaluated the area for a site to construct a playground for the city's largest elementary school. Jacob. The school at the end of the street? Celia Andrews nods and continues to read. The property located at 1135 East Chester Road has been identified as the best construction site for the proposed playground. Grandma J. Best construction site? This is my home. Caleb. Mom, what are we going to do? Celia Andrews. I'm not sure. We'll figure something out. Pauses. Let me make some phone calls. Exits. Act 1, Scene 2. Setting. Outside Grandma J's house a few days later. Jacob, Caleb, Vera, and Miguel are on the steps with Grandma J. Daniel Cruz is in front of the house with Patricia Cole. Celia is pacing behind Nell and Jennifer. Nell holds up her hand, counts down to airtime, and points to Daniel. Daniel Cruz. I am reporting from an old house on East Chester Road. With me is Patricia Cole, president of the city council. Patricia, tell us your plans for this house. Patricia Cole. We're building a playground for the children of our great city. Daniel Cruz. And you're tearing this house down. Patricia Cole. The family will be fairly compensated, and the playground we're building will be in a central area, close to one of our largest elementary schools. Daniel walks over to Celia. Jennifer and Nell follow. Daniel Cruz. This is Celia Andrews, the daughter of the owner, Jean Andrews. Tell us, how do you feel about the city's plans? Celia Andrews looks right at the camera. The city council may offer us money, but money isn't everything. I grew up in this house. My mother grew up here. Our family has been here for years. It's not right to tell an old woman to move out. It's not right. The city council should reconsider its plans. Daniel Cruz holds the microphone in front of Jacob. How do you feel about the playground? Jacob. A new playground is great, but it doesn't have to be built in this precise spot. It could be put somewhere else, and my grandma could keep her home. Celia Andrews. That's right. Daniel moves the microphone to Celia. It's an old house, but it's ours, and it should be important to the town. This house has been here since 1859. Daniel Cruz, to camera, gesturing toward the house. It's too bad these old walls can't talk. I'm sure they would have some stories to tell. But soon the final story of this house will be written, a story that will end with a wrecking ball. This is Daniel Cruz reporting to you from East Chester Road. Nell, that's a wrap. That was great. Grandma J taps her cane. This is not great. You have your report, and I'm going to lose my house. Patricia Cole, I'm sorry about your house, but this playground will benefit everyone. Act 2, Scene 1. Setting: the backyard of Grandma J's house. 1 week later. Jacob, Caleb, Vera, and Miguel are playing catch with a baseball. After a catch, Jacob tosses the baseball off stage. Sound effect: glass breaking. Jacob, oops, I'll get it. Miguel, you broke the cellar window. Jacob walks off stage. Vera to Caleb, I hope your grandmother won't be upset about the window. Caleb, she's already upset about the whole house. In a month, everything will be gone. Jacob reappears. Jacob, it's not there. I searched the cellar and it's not there. And something else. None of the cellar windows is broken. Caleb, of course a window is broken. You can look right there, points, and see it. The baseball's probably at the back of the cellar. Jacob, it's easier said than done. I went downstairs and there is no baseball and no broken window. Vera, I'm perplexed. Is the window broken or not? Caleb, up here it is. Jacob, in the cellar it's not. Miguel, let's go to the cellar, get the baseball, and figure this out. Act 2, Scene 2. Setting: the cellar of Grandma J's house. Moments later. Against the wall is a bookcase. Jacob, Caleb, Vera, and Miguel are in the cellar searching. Jacob, I thought I broke the window, but maybe I didn't. Miguel, I'll go outside and look into the window. Maybe it'll help us figure out where the ball went. He exits, and the group continues searching another minute. Miguel calls from off stage. Hey, who turned off the lights? Vera calls back. No one. The lights are on. Miguel runs back. Miguel, I looked through the broken window, and it is dark inside. I can see into the cellar through all of the other windows, except for that one. Caleb, we were playing at the back of the house. That means the broken window should be back here. Caleb heads toward the back wall, and the others follow. Vera looks around. But there's no window here. Caleb inspects the bookcase. There's something suspicious about this bookcase. Isn't it oddly placed? He looks at the base, below the bottom shelf. And look, don't these look like wheels? Let's see if we can move it and see what's behind it. Caleb and Jacob push the bookcase and expose a small door. Jacob, a door! Jacob opens the door, revealing a darkened room. Miguel, wait here, I'll get flashlights. Exits. Act 2, Scene 2. Setting: the cellar a few days later. Grandma J, Celia Andrews, and the children are in the cellar. Daniel Cruz, Nell, and Jennifer are there along with Patricia Cole and Dr. Cedric Brown, a local historian. Dr. Brown is holding some old newspapers and scraps of clothing. Nell holds up her right hand, counts down to airtime, and points to Daniel Cruz. Daniel Cruz, I'm in the cellar of the old house on East Chester Road, the site of the proposed new playground. Jean Andrews has lived here since she was a child, and now she's almost 90. Last week her grandchildren went in search of a baseball and were astounded by what they found instead. Here to tell us about all that is history professor Dr. Cedric Brown. Cedric Brown. Well, first of all, old houses like this one have a lot to tell us about the history of this area. An old house like this is a window into history. He pauses. The children found a room that had been concealed behind a bookcase. Inside they found these remnants of abolitionist newspapers and scraps of clothes made from burlap bags. Daniel Cruz. But tell us, what does this mean? Cedric Brown. Well, some time ago, we found letters that indicated that some houses in this city might have housed enslaved people who escaped to the north around the time of the Civil War. We had thought that these houses had burned in a town fire long ago. Given these historical records, the age of this house, and the contents of this hidden room, I interpret this to mean that this old house was a stop on the Underground Railroad. Daniel Cruz to Grandma J. To give credit where credit is due, it was your inquisitive grandchildren that made the discovery. Were you surprised by what they found? Grandma J. Yes, all these years, I was living in a house with such history and didn't know it. Daniel Cruz. Dr. Brown, please tell us what this means to the Andrews family and what this means to our city. Cedric Brown. This house can't be torn down, not for a playground, not for anything. It will be declared an historic monument. Daniel Cruz. City Council President Patricia Cole is here. He turns to Patricia Cole. Patricia Cole. I am proud of the role this city played in trying to help people gain their freedom. This great monument to our past will remain, but the children will have their playground. In light of this discovery, we've decided to keep this property intact and extend the playground onto another lot near the school. Grandma J. taps her cane on the floor. Daniel Cruz turns to her. The city gets its playground, and I hope I'll get what I like most: visitors. I'd be happy to show the families who visit the playground a part of the city's and my past. Daniel Cruz to camera. This is Daniel Cruz reporting to you from East Chester Road, where a house that offered a second chance at life during a time of slavery gets a second chance too.